Hola amigos, Javier here for Hum of the Earth. Welcome to El Encanto, a small town in southern Colombia near Laguna de Cocha, one of Colombia's most beautiful and biggest lakes. This town has the nickname Little Switzerland. But enough of that. I talk about that in a separate video that I did of Laguna de Cocha and El Encanto. In this video, we'll be talking about what it's like to bicycle tour in Colombia and hopefully give you an idea as to whether or not it's a good place for you to bicycle tour. Typical situation when you're riding a bike, dogs chasing you and barking at you. Yeah, so I've spent 2.5 months in Colombia, and I've been pretty much anywhere a tourist could think of going. And I have some thoughts on my experience. So Colombia has a really pronounced cycling culture, and this isn't like a cycling culture that you might have in some European countries like the Netherlands, where it's primarily based on day-to-day transportation, your daily commute to your job. It's more focused towards the sporting aspects of it. So mountain biking and road biking, but I say more the sporting aspect because if you're doing any kind of significant distance on a bicycle in Colombia, you're going to be doing some climbing. That's because Colombia is a very mountainous country, and the majority of the places I enjoyed going to the most, and the places where I also enjoyed bicycling the most, involved quite a lot of climbing. There were some stretches that were mostly flat, like from Cartagena to Rio Hacha, and Rio Hacha to Valle du Par, but these definitely weren't my favorite parts of visiting Colombia. Most of my favorite spots were either in or in a valley next to the Andean Mountains. So there are two main chains of the Andean Mountains that go through Colombia. And the reason why a lot of the cool places to visit in Colombia are in the mountains is because when European settlers, mostly Spaniards, came here, it's very hot, or they found it to be hot, and there was a lot of mosquitoes that were giving them deadly diseases like yellow fever. So they figured out that when they would go to higher elevations, there was no longer mosquitoes and the temperature was much milder. And the highways, which I was riding most of the time, were newly paved, so in really good condition. Oftentimes had a shoulder as well, so really good riding conditions if you're sticking to the highway. And the highways are in such good condition because most people have to pay at the various toll booths throughout the highways, but as a cyclist you do not have to pay. Another reason why bicycle touring is awesome. And with a pronounced cycling culture, that means that you're going to have good availability of bicycle parts compared to most of Latin America, and especially considered to Central America, where it was before this. So this means that you can not worry as much about something breaking down and not being able to find the replacement part for it. Another pro of a pronounced biking culture is that, unlike places like Guatemala or some places in the southern US where some people feel like you don't belong on the road, cycling here is, so common that cars are used to having cyclists on any type of road, and the fact that you're bicycle touring, you're going to get a lot of people honking at you, but in a good way, to encourage you and waving you and asking you where you're going and where you're from, and just cheering you on in general. So Colombia might not be ideal if you're beginning bicycle touring, or if you know for a fact that you don't really like long days of climbing. Then maybe this is not for you. There may be some better options. But if you don't mind climbing, or even if you like climbing, I can't recommend Colombia enough. It's a beautiful country with beautiful landscapes and beautiful people. Everything is cheap. I think you should come. So that's pretty much everything cycling related that I can think about when it comes to bicycle touring Colombia. But naturally, if you are thinking of doing this, you probably have some other questions, like, is Colombia safe to travel? And where should I go in Colombia? Well, lucky for you, I've made 2 videos that cover that exact topic. Fierce protector of his owner's property. And I'll be linking those 2 videos, so is Colombia safe to travel, and the ultimate Colombia itinerary videos, in the description below this video. And if you'd like to see some other possible bicycle touring destinations in Latin America, over on my website I have an interactive map of everywhere that I've been on my bicycle tour, going from Canada to Argentina. And so yeah, it's an interactive map where you can click on the different places that I've been, see the blog posts and the videos that I've made of those locations. So that might give you some other ideas as well. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I could be useful in your gathering information on this topic. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures, again, bicycle touring from Canada to Argentina and beyond, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button below the video. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.